All right, you're gonna need a paper and pen for this one. You are going to need a paper and pen for this one. I was having a conversation today in the sauna. It's another business owner. She might actually be watching this video. What's happening? I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are. Um, your hiring process needs to be simple, needs to be clear and concise, easy to understand. And I'm going to give you an example of what your hiring process should look like because you should not be doing the hiring. I don't care if you are an HR professional. If you are the founder, you are the founder. If you are the owner, you are the owner. You need to be focusing on building the business, building the company, and not working within the company, but working on the company. So your hiring process needs to be a document. It does not need to be 3 miles long. It just needs to be a simple document of how you do things. The purpose of this document is to mitigate your risk and to make sure that the process and the system itself flows and that it's going to produce a predictable result every time. So you're going to do 2, 3. You're going to make six titles. First title, employment law. That varies state to state. Employment law, you have to have an idea how that operates. Reviewing resumes and applications. Number 2, reviewing resumes and applications. Number 1, employment law. Number 1, employment law. Number 2, reviewing resumes and applications. 3, how to check references. 3, how to check references. All right. Then 4, interviews. 5, making the decision. And then 6, record keeping. So from the top, employment law, reviewing resumes and applications, and how to check resumes. I want you to pause right there halfway through it. Okay? This is practically admin work. This is practically admin work. This is due diligence work. All right? 3, 4, and 5, which is no, excuse me, 4, 5, and 6, excuse me, 4, 5, and 6. The other half of that is going to be interviews, making the decision, and record keeping. So let's break this down. So with employment law, you need to know the laws that you need to be aware of, what you can and cannot say. Big thing for me, what you can and cannot say. And then you need to have your common pitfalls, which is things that are going to, now to be mindful, guys. I don't know where you are. We're in Atlanta. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. All right. Our laws are different because we're at Will State. If you were in New York or you're in California, it is going to be different. California, someone practically, I mean, it's a lot tougher to fire someone in California than it is in Atlanta. That's for sure. You can basically just walk in and be like, I don't like your shirt. You're fired. As long as basically, it's not like, discriminatory while you're getting rid of them, like, age, sex, race, something like that, disability. As long as none of that stuff in Georgia, you can get fired for having the wrong shirt on or being out of uniform. Okay, so that's the law. Go find the answers. I don't have the answers for you on this YouTube video. Go find them. All right. 2, review resumes and applications. 2 things here: what to look for, and your common applicant tricks. All right, so you're going to have people that are going to be gaming the system using keywords and things like that. You need to be able to identify that, nip that in the bud. If someone's having sentences that has a whole bunch of like hot phrases, keywords in them and stuff like that, so they can register, you need to be, the admin person needs to be able to identify that. All right. So that's reviewing your resumes and applications. Number 3, how to check your references. What to ask, and how to read a reference. Meaning someone calls and they're like, hey man, he's the best employee in the world. He was always on time, da da da. You need to know how to read a reference. You know what I'm saying? People left that company for a reason. And though, they may still offer good advice, good, points regarding that particular applicant, they're going to, use your common sense and your street smarts as an entrepreneur. You should be able to kind of pick up and have an idea of like what's going on, and maybe even discover, why they left, if that's appropriate to ask in your state. Another thing is how to ask questions. If you come in and you're asking the wrong types of questions, you're going to get a wrong answer or a different type of answer than what you may intend to be looking for. So if someone says, "Why did they leave?" and they say, "Oh, well, they, their family just, wasn't supportive of it." What you may not understand is that they left because they were being overworked, or they left because they didn't have a personal life at all and their family was bucking against that whole situation. So make sure that during the process that you're asking the right question, you're doing it with the right how. Some questions need to be asked soft, some questions need to be, a little bit of a buffer before you ask questions, because it might be a tough question. Some questions is best just to come straight out the hole. I don't know what your questions are going to be, but this is, the front side, if you will. All right. So third part, interviews: what to ask, what to look for, pointers to conducting the interview. So for an example, let's say that you do an interview and it's an hour and a half long, and you realize that 30 minutes into the candidate's attention starts to go down. Shorten the damn interview up. If you what to look for, I've talked about this in previous videos. You guys need to be looking for company culture fit and making sure this person has the passion to do whatever they're going to be doing for whatever reason. All right, let me tell you something. A guy who just gets parole out of prison is passionately looking for work, especially if he's in a halfway house. He's passionately looking for work. He passionately does not want to go back to that halfway house. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the reasons are, the motivation is, I don't know what they are. I'm just giving you guys the sauce, giving you guys the secrets, the hacks on what to look for. Maybe this person, this nuclear family, this gentleman, newly married, has a new wife, new baby, baby's crying all night, pooping all day. He doesn't want to be around for that. He'd rather be at work. Or, flipping the coin the other way, he's got 2 additional mouths that he needs to provide for now. He's trying to be at work. He's passionate about not being home, and so that he can provide. You guys got to be able to identify that in the interview process. All right. So that, and also, knowing what to ask. You know what I'm saying? As far as like locations concerned, things like that. Let's move on. Making a decision. 2 points: what to evaluate and how to compare. What to evaluate between the different candidates and what to compare. For example, if this guy here went to, Harvard, shout out, he goes to Harvard, and you got someone over here that went to like Northeastern or some other school like that, you know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you are able to, you know how to compare that in a fashion that's going to be able to generate the results that you're looking for. If you want someone who is going to be critical thinking, who's going to be able to be on their own feet, they're going to look at things logically, not emotionally. If you're looking at someone who's going to be able to do research and do their own case law, go back and look at similar situations in the past with other companies and then generate a result based on case study or something like that, then you're going to want to go to Harvard person. If you want to go with someone who, you're going to be able to give instruction to, and they're going to do whatever you tell them to do, like a robot, then you might want to go with the Northeastern person. So it just depends upon which way you want to go. You know what I'm saying? As an entrepreneur, we need employees, so we hire Northeasterns. If we are building a company that's going to do X, Y, and Z, and we need strong leadership, we're going to put our Harvard folks in there. So what I'm saying here is that it just depends upon what the application is. All right. If you are, and that's part of the evaluation and the comparing, so that if you have someone from Northeastern, Harvard, Clayton County, Clayton State, and Georgia Tech or something like that, maybe the Harvard person isn't the way to go. You might need an employee. You might need someone who's going to do just what you tell them to do, and that's it. So it just depends. So you need to evaluate the whole circumstance, evaluate the whole situation, what you're trying to accomplish, and then compare and contrast between the different candidates so that you can choose a candidate that's going to not only be most likely to accept your offer, but willing to do the work for a sustained period of time. The last one, which is record keeping, which is records that you must keep, and what you may ask after the person has been hired, what you may ask after the person is being hired. So, disabilities, anything like that, mental, physical situations in certain states, the assumption is that might not be cool in every state. So I might give you an offer, and then after that, I'd be like, yeah, how many kids you got? That might be inappropriate. That might not be something that you can ask. That kind of goes back to the employment law, the first thing we talked about. When it comes to records that you have to keep, you may need to have record of someone having anxiety or someone having depression or someone who has some type of bone disorder or some physical type of disorder. You may have to keep record of that. One thing I noticed is that there's a client that we have, and they have to keep 2257 forms, age verification forms. That's something that they have to do. So they have a whole situation set up where all they do is just log those forms so that they can be protected moving forward. So I wanted to give you guys a structure. On the process, and this is something that you can bend and mold into what you've got going on. Maybe part of that hiring process is that they maybe part of your hiring process is that they go to the website, they book, they send a resume in, then they get an automated responder so that they can book a time to get their interview, and then you're doing mass interviews like that. I don't know what the situation is. What I'm saying here is that we've got a piece of this that is on the admin side. We got a piece of this is actual interview side. This whole process comes together, and it's one hiring process. And this is a document that you can share with the people that are supposed to be doing the hiring. So if you have someone who's in the marketing department, you can give them this document, and it covers what they need. If you got someone in the fulfillment center, or you got someone at the front desk or something like that, and they're hiring for assistants to work retail, or it's a manager at like a retail store, has nothing to do with finance, you can give them this document and they can pretty much rock with it. So I hope that helps you out. I hope that gives you some clarity. If you have any questions, go Google it.